When I got home from work on Friday, my wife asked me what I did at work. And I told her I brokered an international arms deal between the President of the United States and the President of Ukraine. It sounded a little out there, so I showed her this clip.
The United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones.
So you're suggesting kind of a trade. If President Trump okays Tomahawk missiles to help you launch...
Yes, it's about Russia, military goals. It's only about military goals.
Right, but then you would authorize some kind of an exchange where...
Yes, of course.
The US
yes, we have proposition. Yeah, we have brief proposition with our drones.
President Trump, I don't mean to be brokering an arms deal here, but is that something that you would be interested in, Ukrainian drones?
We are, yeah, or we would.
Senator Jim Banks joins us now. Senator, what do you think about that deal, Tomahawks for drones?
I mean, if it's a deal that helps America and puts it's in America's interest and helps Ukraine at the same time, I'll defer to the president. But what Zelensky said as well, that President Trump is the only one who can negotiate a deal to bring peace to Ukraine to end the war. At the same time, you have Putin saying that the war never would have started if Donald Trump was president in the first place. It feels like President Trump is making large gains here, and if things like this could get us closer to that, to something that brings peace in Ukraine, I give Donald Trump a lot of credit for it.
And Senator, what should we make about Putin's plans to end the war when President Trump does not commit to a transfer of Tomahawks and then Putin just goes and bombs Ukraine again?
Well, President Trump isn't saying no to sending the Tomahawks, but President Trump understands that we have to replenish our own stockpiles. We've sent $67 billion of weapons to Ukraine already, and in many cases at the expense of not just American tax dollars, but depleting necessary weapons and resources that America might need in a fight of our own. So President Trump isn't saying no to the Tomahawks, but at the same time, Peter, he's leveraging the Tomahawks. He's spoken directly to Putin about if Putin says, no, don't send the Tomahawks, and President Trump is saying, I will if you don't keep up your end of the deal. So President Trump is as I already said, he's the only one that can negotiate something to bring lasting peace and end the war in Ukraine, and he's well on his way to doing that. Contrast that with Joe Biden, who couldn't negotiate anything between these two countries. And the fact that this war never would have happened if Donald Trump was the president to begin with. We're making gains. I trust President Trump. He's doing what's necessary to end the war. It's going to take some time, but he's well on his way.
President Trump talked to Zelensky on Friday. Just about every time that happens, Putin phones first with some kind of a let's make a deal talk. This time, he apparently pitched a 70-mile-long Trump-Putin U.S. to Russia rail tunnel built by Elon Musk that the Kremlin claims could be done in 8 years for $8 billion. Listen here.
This came up yesterday, a tunnel from Russia to Alaska. That's an interesting. What do you think of that, Mr. President? Do you have any ideas? How do you like that idea?
I'm not happy with this.
I don't think you're going to like it. I don't think you liked it.
So Zelensky didn't think that's a good idea. What do you think, Senator? Russia to Alaska tunnel?
Peter, it sounds like it seems like far-fetched, but maybe it's something that is possible. I don't know. I'll defer to President Trump, and I'm sure there's a reason that he's raising that prospect. Again, he's several steps ahead in these negotiations of both sides. He's trying to leverage one and the other to find something that can bring lasting peace and end the war. And I'm sure that this is one thing that's a part of those negotiations. I'll defer to President Trump.
We are going to play now the soundbite of the week. It came from the White House when President Trump took a question about the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro.
He doesn't want to f*** around with the United States.
And Senator Banks, you can see there we have the ability to bleep. Is he right?
He's 100% right. And President Trump understands that peace through strength it lies in exactly that. Don't mess with the United States of America. Whether we're talking about Hamas or whether we're talking about peace in Ukraine, look no further than what happened in Iran. Remember, President Trump was completely underestimated when it came to Iran and threatening them to end their nuclear program. They didn't do it, so he bombed them. He set back the nuclear program in Iran and devastated that program. And that's what Venezuela, Maduro, and all of the narco-terrorists in South America need to understand in Central and South America, that if you send drugs to the United States of America and kill Americans, then you are at war with us, and you will pay a price. And that's why I totally back what President Trump is trying to do, taking out drug runners on submarines or all of the cartels at the southern border. Do whatever it takes. Declare war on them. Don't let them get away with it. And he's put Maduro on notice that that's exactly what we're going to do to him as well.
And to your point there, off the coast of Venezuela, the Department of War has moved the Night Stalkers in. That is the unit famous for flying top-secret missions like the one to kill bin Laden. Are we getting closer to putting boots on the ground in Venezuela?
I don't think so, Peter. I mean, we've used the Reaper drones. We're using units like this to take out narco-terrorists trafficking drugs into the United States. And I find that Hoosiers completely agree with and support that mission. We've seen the devastating effects. We've had more Americans die of drug overdoses in the last year than in the entire war in Vietnam. And that's what we need to remember here, that President Trump is putting them on notice. This isn't Joe Biden and the weak administration that we had before that turned a complete blind eye to what they were doing to kill Americans with drug trafficking. The Trump administration is going to hold them accountable for it. And we've already seen big examples of that, and there are going to be a lot more. And put Maduro, who is a narco-terrorist, drug trafficking hub in and of himself, we're going to put him on notice and let him know that he will be held directly responsible and accountable if these activities continue.
And before we let you go, Senator, there were these No Kings marches all across the country. Organizers say 2,700 locations in the U.S. They say millions of people showed up. The people marching were trying to send a message to lawmakers in Washington, D.C. What is the message that you got?
Well, the message that I continue to get from many of these protesters and even many Democrats in Washington, D.C. is they still don't understand what happened on Election Day. Donald Trump won. He won the popular vote. He won a historic mandate to clean up this country, save this country from the radicals who are trying to tear it down. And Donald Trump is doing exactly that. He's been very effective in a short period of time, and we've still got well over 3 years to go with President Trump at the helm. If that angers these No Kings protesters and riles them up to dress up in their costumes and go out and protest in the streets, it doesn't intimidate any of us who understand what happened on Election Day. There's another election right around the corner, and the voters are going to remember that, and they're going to continue to put Republicans and Donald Trump and his team in charge to do what it takes to clean up America and save this country.
Senator Jim Banks, hope to have you back sometime on the Sunday briefing. Thanks for being here.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.